Haftarah 101, Haftarah for Rosh Hashanah. 2 days of Rosh Hashanah, 2 days of Torah reading, 2 Haftarahs. We'll summarize both. First one, day 1, is following the Torah reading of Hashem answering the prayers of Avram and Sarah finally having Yitzchak, Isaac. And the Haftarah for that day comes from the book of Shmuel Aleph, Samuel 1. And it's a story about a man named Elkanah. He had 2 wives, Penina and Hannah. Penina had many children and Hannah had no children. And they used to make annual pilgrimages to the tabernacle, to the Mishkan in Shiloh. And part of the pilgrimages also was to encourage everyone else to go up, etc. This is before the Beis HaMikdash was built. So one year they go, and Hannah is very bitter, sad, etc. about her situation. And she goes into, while everybody's enjoying, she goes into the Mishkan and she kind of whispers this heartfelt prayer to Hashem, asking for a child and promising that if it's a boy, that she's going to dedicate him basically to God's service. And the Kohen Gadol, the high priest Eli, is watching her, and at first he's like, what is this woman whispering here? He thought she was drunk. And he goes over to her and he's like, okay, why don't you sober up and then come back? And she's like, no, I was not drunk. I was actually praying. And she tells over the situation, and Eli blesses her and says, God is going to bless you. You're going to have your child. And the following year, she does indeed have a son. His name is Shmuel. He's going to be the great prophet Samuel. And she actually, part of the prayer was that she was dedicating him to God's service, is that she promised that he was going to be a Nazir from birth. So Samson was a Nazir basically from the womb, kind of, even though, whatever that is. And Shmuel was a Nazir from birth. That means his hair was never cut throughout his life. And when he's old enough, as in once he was weaned, Hannah brings Shmuel to the Mishkan, to Eli, and says, okay, it's time for him now to be part of God's service. And then the Haftarah ends with Hannah saying praise and blessing, etc., thanking God for what she was given, and she also prophesies about Messianic times. The next Haftarah is from the book of Yirmiyahu, the book of Jeremiah. And this one is about the ingathering of the exiles. It's about Messianic times. And God has loved you with an everlasting love. He's always been you are his and he is yours, kind of thing. Of course, it's the day of judgment, but it's also a time when we recommit ourselves to God and crown him as our king, and re-strengthen the connection, the bond between God and people, etc. And it's actually part of this Haftarah. This section that's taken from Jeremiah is it describes all the joyousness and all the great blessings, etc., of Messianic times, and everyone's going to come back, and the morning is going to be turned into joy and all that kind of stuff. Then it describes what's going on high, is that there's silence, and then there's a sound of bitter weeping, called Barama Nishma, that the sound of crying is heard through the silence, basically. And who's crying? It's Rachel Imenu, Mother Rachel. So a lot of famous lines over here of Rachel Mavak al Banel. Rachel cries for her children. How can I be comforted as long as my children are in exile? And that's when Hashem tells her, be comforted, because there will come a time, Yesh tikva lacharisech, there is a hope for your future. Your children are going to return to their border. And it's actually interesting that you have Sarah, and you have Hannah, and you have Rachel, all on Rosh Hashanah, speaking about the cries and the prayers of mothers, and of Hashem answering them on this, that's remembered and read about on this day. So it's certainly very appropriately chosen and very powerful sections that are being read on Rosh Hashanah. Everybody be blessed with a very happy, healthy, sweet New Year. Shana Tova U'Matuka.